Alright, test. Are we working? Let's see. I see nothing on my microphone. Hello, hello. Mono active. Microphone, anything. Alright, that doesn't appear to be working. Let's try also. Here's our device. Alright, now we've got some audio. This is my first stream from my new laptop. I feel like I'm probably way too loud. Let's try there. Alright, welcome to the stream today. Thanks for joining. As always, let me know if there are any issues with the audio and or the video so I can try to address them. If you were here for the stream yesterday with the Arch install on the new ThinkPad, we are streaming from that device today after doing a reinstall using Endeavor OS, which actually has an installer that won't make you want to throw your laptop out the window. I'm going to put a couple of notes in the chat here. Any questions or comments you guys might have, throw them in the chat while we're live here. And if you're watching this later, throw them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to them. Alright, now the device that we have today is the DEKCO DC5L. This is also sold as the AOSU C5L, and it's exactly the same product. The only difference is the paint right here and the box that it comes in. They're slightly different colors, but that is literally the only difference between them. So there's two versions of the camera, one that uses the T31 processor and one that uses the T23. We've already added support for the T31 version, so today I've got the T23. So I've had the other one apart, so I more or less remember how this goes. Get my Phillips, and we're just going to crack this guy right open. I think I've had this one apart already. That's how I know it's the T23. I forgot to put one of the screws back in. Doesn't sound like me at all, does it? Alright, this has 4 screws on the back, and they're relatively difficult to get to, these 2 bottom ones. I might have to do some software installation while we're doing this cam as well, because this will be the first time I've used most of these tools, so that would be a little extra fun. We're going to go ahead and pop the main board out. hopefully we'll be able to do both cameras with a single installer. I did find a opening in the T31 version, and normally I would expect that we're going to have a very similar userland side to the factory firmware, and we should be able to use the same opportunity, which will allow us to automatically detect which camera we have and flash the appropriate firmware. There's all 4 screws, and this one, a little bit of wiggle to get out, not too bad. We can go ahead and remove these extra connectors. Our infrared, or speaker, or microphone rather. Alright, and here is the brains of the camera. Oh, got a note that the audio is not good. Let me try turning this up. Is the audio better now? Oh, hang on. Alright, this is my first time using this laptop, so I'm trying to get my settings right. Getting information that it sounds poor. This one all the way off. Alright, is this any better? It's a USB microphone, so there is no audio jack. Well, I do see audio levels when I'm speaking. Got this set to mono. Let's see. Can you? Nope. Too many microphones on here. All right. I very much am seeing what I would expect to be working audio. Is it working now? Don't move. I have to move a lot. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let me just start over a little bit and give you the starting point of what we're doing here. We've got the DEKCO. This is the DC5L. It's also sold as the AOSU C5L. It's exactly the same camera, just even the boxes are the same except for the color and the name. And the camera itself, the only difference is the name printed on the front. But there's 2 versions of it. There's a T31, which we've got support for, and there's a T23, which is what we have here. So I just removed the main board, or freed up the main board, so we'll be able to access it. And we're going to see about getting the factory firmware image off of it. We're going to analyze that a little bit. And as evidenced by the audio difficulties we were having, we're on a new device. The laptop that I was messing with in the last live stream is up and running with Arch, and everything appears to be working for the moment there. I reinstalled Arch about 6 times, didn't get what I needed out of it, and discovered there's a Arch-based distro called Endeavor that has an actual installer. And that got me up and running very quickly, very easily, and I gave them a big shout out over on Twitter. All right, so our next step, we're going to use the CH341A and our clip, and we're going to grab the factory firmware off of this camera. So first we have to identify where pin 1 is, which I've done. This may not work because of this connector. I feel like we're close, but no cigar on this guy. I might have to modify this clip a little bit to get it to work. I don't think you guys will mind me having to do that too much. Yeah, the camera is manual focus, and so like getting exactly the right focus is difficult because focus for this is not the same as focus for this, but hopefully this is pretty close. Now I'm thinking what my best bet for modifying this is going to be. I have a selection of power tools to do the job, but I'm actually going to have to walk outside and grab one. So if you don't mind, just hang on for a minute and I'm going to grab my angle grinder. All right, we've got power tools. I'm going to try using the oscillating multi-tool first. I'm also going to turn on the overhead lights because sunlight's not quite doing it in here. All right, that's a bit more light. I'm way up north, and the smoke from the fires in Canada are giving me a little bit of grief. Yeah, tool time for real. I don't mess around. All right, now which side do we need to trim? All right, so basically we just need to knock this down a bit, and we'll just use this guy. All right, that shot up and hit me right in the lip. let's see if it fits before we put the tools away. Oh yeah, that's just fine. We're totally good. All right, and we do have a USB port on this side, which I wasn't sure about until just now. Let's go ahead and we're going to jump over to a terminal. Let's see. Screen capture's on. And kill this one. Ooh, look at that, OBS. All right, let me make this a little bigger. And we need flash ROM, which I don't have. Maybe I do have. All right. They make a temp place to work on this stuff. Can you guys see the text on here okay? I can make this text bigger if I need to. Yeah, surgical is probably closer than you'd want it to be. So we're going to use flash ROM. Our programmer is a CH341A SPI, and I do have the voltage mod, and I've also removed the power line going down to the chip. And we're going to read DEKCO 1.bin, and okay. Look at that, it found the chip, so we're doing the thing. And I believe this is a 16 megabyte chip, so this will take a minute. Would it be better if I changed the font size? Like this is running in 1080p. There's no feedback from flash ROM by default unless you specify that you need it also. My Discord. Good thing I got my headphones on. My Discord's going nuts in the background. All right, yeah. I got a note from Mr. 8 about the audio a minute ago too, which I don't know whose YouTube handle matches up to which Discord handle. This camera I got on Amazon. I don't know if you can find it on AliExpress. Let me look while we're waiting on this to read my flash. We have to read the flash twice also, so we got time. AOSU C5L. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to say no on the AOSU brand. Checking on the DEKCO brand. Yeah, we got nothing. At least in the US, this is not available on AliExpress. All right, our first read is done. We're going to read a second time. If you're new to this, when you're reading your firmware off of a chip, you always want to read it twice and then verify that they match with MD5 sum. And while this is going, let's look at the other specs on this camera. So this one has a SC3336 sensor, which is 3 megapixel Realtek Ethernet, Realtek Wi-Fi, I should say, 16 meg flash, and it's using both of the processor options are the 64 megabyte RAM versions. but this one has a nice white lamp in addition to having infrared, and it's definitely outdoor rated and seems to be pretty good build quality. So the other one I've been pretty happy with. I didn't want to actually install it anywhere until I get this one working, because I'm going to do an install video that hopefully will encompass both, and I'd like to have them both on hand for that. Do a little Discord maintenance here. All right, and back to you guys. So I don't think this is going to be available from any other brands other than these two. I definitely haven't seen it, at least, but these are also the only cams that I've seen from the DEKCO or AOSU brand. So I'm assuming they're not too related to some of the other brands that you're actually familiar with. This thing should really default to having feedback on its progress, but whatever. I definitely don't have all of the extras that you need for bin walk installed. I probably don't even have bin walk installed. So first we see they're the same size, and they have the same MD5 sum, so we are happy with that. Go ahead and get rid of our flash programmer. And let's see what we have with bin walk. Probably nothing. All right. So we know we need bin walk. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and increase the font size on this. I feel like we're kind of pushing it a little bit. Let's see. Enlarge font. Okay, we got a Control Plus. All right. That should be good, right? I wonder if there is an option to grab all of these bonus packages, but we'll get some of them. We'll take ARG, we'll take MTD Utils, we'll take Squash FS Tools, we've got tar, we'll take LH ASA and Sleuth Kit. What I mess up on? ARG, not ARC. And I spelled Sleuth Kit wrong. So grab those right quick. So cutting the power that goes to the chip is super easy. Let me get this on camera. Let me switch over so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so here's the clip, and it's got 8 wires, and you've got your red wire, which signifies pin 1, and directly across from it is pin 8. Pin 8 is the power wire, and you just cut it. That's all there is to it. But you also want to make sure you've done the voltage mod on the programmer as well, which I don't know if you can clearly see here because of focus. See if I can focus in on it. Maybe wrong way. Go this way. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, yeah. So I've got the pin lifted, and I've got a small wire run over here to a 3.3 volt lead, and we did the same over here on this pin. We got the voltage connected up. All right, let me refocus on the camera. This camera's got really good image quality, but the manual focus is a pain in the butt.
All right, back to our terminal. Here we go. All right, now we want Jefferson, which I believe is in the AUR. Do we have yay? Yes. Yay minus S. Jefferson. Yes. I don't need any diffs. Just give me the good stuff. I probably don't have hex edit installed yet. Oh, quit asking me questions. Oh boy. Oh boy. What did I get us into? We're almost there. Maybe. Yes. There's probably a command line argument that I'm not giving it to tell it just always accept yes. I don't know. How many of you guys actually use Arch, by the way? All right, we should be good here. We're going to bin walk minus me. All right, so we should get Sasquatch. Let's see if they have it in the regular Arch repository. Actually, I think if I just use yay, then it should get it from either one. Yeah, just get it. Oh no, an error. Oh, it doesn't build. No. How is that a thing? How did this make it into the AUR if it doesn't even build? This is where you end up like, if you've been on my live streams before, like they totally start out with a clear goal, right? Like today we're going to start from scratch and we're going to go to this point. And like as soon as we get one or two steps in, they kind of turn into like side quests. And you end up with like a string of side quests, one after the other. So hope you guys don't mind a few side quests, but this one failing. I am obviously not versed enough on Arch and their packaging system, and that's a side quest we're not going to start today, but I will download Sasquatch and we will build it ourselves. This is a brand new Firefox. Look at the crap they want you to look at. Like, not logged in. The only thing I've ever gone to is literally the Thingino GitHub page to get the right URL for the Docker container. And they want me to look at this Walking Dead girl who died. That's sad. And some other nonsense. Anyways, Squash FS Sasquatch. There you go. All right, Sasquatch is a set of patches to standard unsquash FS to support hacked up. Yes, that sounds good. Let's do this. All right, and they are expecting you to be on Ubuntu, which we are obviously not. And this hasn't had an update in 4 years. So we're off to a great start. Let's open a new window here. What? Didn't I make it to? Oh, okay. This is taking me to the directory we already had open. Just grab this right quick. And so they've got this build.sh. We're just going to eyeball that real quick and make sure there's nothing too funny going on there. It looks pretty straightforward. All right. So presumably this is going to fail. Yeah, in exactly the same spot. But this looks like it is warnings. Maybe not so much errors. Let's check it out. Oh. Squash FS tools. Where were we actually at? Where were we actually at? Okay. Go through the make file, see if there are any options for errors that we can disable. There's C flags. All right, so we're going to take this off. That was not enough to do it. Passing argument 2 from incompatible pointer type. All right, so it's getting a void star, but it's expecting a sig handler T. And same thing on the next line. Like this is just another little side quest, but don't you worry, we're going to get there. Oh no. All right, I think it's still compiling though. All right, we bombed. What did we bomb on? We have some duplicate definitions. Error.h34. All right, I think this is just a case of this include file is being included twice. We have a block here with a if def. That's a comment. Do end diffs actually work in comments? Like I feel like since that's a comment, we should just nuke it so there's no chance the compiler is looking at it funny. Okay, well, looks like the comment still hit just fine. All right, what am I missing here? Because it should not be able to put this in twice. Squash FS tools error.h. It's still complaining about it in the same place. We're going to find it though, don't worry. Now if I just comment it out, then it should be not found, yeah. So somehow we're seeing this twice. That should definitely not be the case with that guard at the top. So we're not directly including that error.h, which means it's being included by one of these other includes, which is super lame when they do that. Info.c. All right, well, we're just gonna like super cheat, because I feel like we're just gonna move on to the next error, but like we don't need verbose. Yeah, those are the only occurrences of verbose. I bet I can't actually do that. I need to put something in here. Like, nope. Oh, there's a macro. All right. It's actually referring to it in a few more spots. Am I not using actual GCC? Like, is this LVM or something? No, it's actual GCC. Where is it getting that multiple definitions? Like, this should be preventing it. Well, that didn't help either. That shouldn't make any difference, but I'm doing it anyway. Got a bunch of macros. Oh, so there's a issue in the repo. Let's check it out. $54. Looks like it's closed probably. No way to compile. Here we go. That is not the same issue. But let's try some of these other ones. These are all old tickets too. Oh, am I still enclosed? That wasn't helpful. That's not going to be helpful. Error building here. Not the same error. We'll just see if verbose shows up. since that should be the same regardless. Alright, here you go. Have you searched the issues tab? There's a solution somewhere. Probably this one. Alright, they're saying use the patch in this one. Alright. Well, we'll try that. We were halfway there already. What else did we have? Externit verbose. I got it. Does it matter where it goes? X adders. Well, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Extern int. Did I kill the wrong thing? We better start over. Yeah, that did not help. Alright. I think we already got rid of that. Minus F common. That still didn't help. Yeah, this is commented out, so it doesn't even mean anything. There's no other wall. Yeah, we got rid of that. So we've put those changes in. Got a minus G, but that shouldn't have anything to do with it. Yeah. We'll just do a make clean real quick. And then we'll rebuild. But I don't think we changed anything that's going to matter. Okay, so now some of these are getting some undefined errors in different places. So that tells me something. Hang on just a second. Let me let my wife through here. Did you get me some pretzels?
I did.
Excellent. Alright, so all these other ones have a similar thing where they should all be pulling from that same error.h, but for some reason they are not. I'm going to try real quick. Trying to think if that even makes sense. Like this shouldn't. But I can put it right back in. Oh, you know what it was? I believe we're supposed to do int there, and it's only extern in the error.h. All right, let's try that. Hooray! We have unsquash fs now, and Sasquatch. All right. Bin walk. DEKCO1.bin. All right, what did we get an error about this time? Nothing. All right, this is good. This is better. We're happy about this. Just going to grab U-boot out of here. I know it's extracted already, but this saves me from having to identify it. I don't have hex edit. But now I do. We actually just wanted strings on it. I don't think we're going to find anything we don't already know on here. But just as a real quick, because you probably weren't here the first time. Oh, sorry about that. Pointing you at the wall. All right, as I recall, I might have this confused with a different camera because, you know, I do a lot of these. But this one, I believe, had a file name that it would look for in U-boot. And I'm hoping... I'll need to review on my other laptop. I'm hoping that's not going to be a deal where I need to have the user actually look. So we're just going to poke around a little bit. Yeah, see, these are nice to see. I like these. Hopefully that is going to match with that -2 indicating something different. But I feel like I'm going to have to pop open my other laptop and look at my notes there. Well, that's interesting. It's got a demo.bin, which is a file name that Wise uses. All right, I'm going to try. This is sitting on top of my other laptop. I'm going to try to gently slide it out from under and power it up off to the side without breaking anything on our stream. All right, all the lights stayed on. I think we're good. Plug still in. All right, you guys aren't going to be able to see what I'm doing here for a second, but it's all good stuff. Just relax. And DEKCO. Notes. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like on the T31 it's firmware underscore C5L.bin versus this one is firmware underscore C5L-2.bin. So that is nice. And I thought this must have been a different camera. I got some different notes on. Yeah, there's notes I've got for a completely different camera. I don't even remember which camera that was. But this one, I think we can just go with a straight file name. We'll find out. I don't have anything else in my notes. Just making sure. I don't always trust my notes. How many freaking tabs do I have open on this thing? Yeah. All right, well, that's all I got in my notes is that one file name, so hopefully that's all we need. And I'll toss this ThinkPad. Yeah, I think you're right that the F is for full. And so I have flashed the other one. I just don't 100% remember how I did it. Do I have an installer for it? Where did I put my stuff? Alright, so actually the image I have for the AOSU, the installer that I've got built right now, actually you have to do a flash glitch for that to work. So I did not incorporate those changes, what I learned there, into this. But that's alright, we'll work it out. Question is, like the question's always, is the firmware file in a package versus is it just there? And one of the cams I did very recently did have a package that I had to figure out, and I did figure it out. I just don't remember which camera that was. All right, well, let's look at the userland environment. Are we still on the same? Oh, we're not. All right, back to the bigger text. Where are we? We're in temp. We're in extractions. Deco bin extracted. This is not the nice extraction that I expect. Yeah, this totally... What happened here? Oh, I don't remember the escape codes here. Alright, we're going to forget about that. Gonna run this again. What? Oh. Let's see if I missed something here. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. But it seems like I definitely missed something on our bin walk. Like we got these certificates, but what I really need is this JFFS2 partition and this SquashFS partition, which is claims that it got. So got a U image, got a SquashFS, got another U image is strange. We're going to start with the 208. I think it's, oh, wait. What in the heck? Wait. What the heck? That's not right. You seeing this? We don't even need most of this crap. Did I do that? I want this, please. Don't have a profile there. We've got bash profile. Yeah, something through /bin in my path, which obviously is not what you want. Alright, so there's no Etsy in here. Oh, it's because they copy it from Etsy default. I remember going through some of this. Looking at the stuff in the SD card. Alright, as I recall, this was a little bit of a runaround. We wanted to look at the MDev. So when you insert your SD card, it's going to run sdcard.sh. So that's the one we need to look at. On insert, it's throwing a few little notes in here. It's looking to see if auto run enable exists, and if it does, it's going to run auto_run.sh is the idea. But it runs this SD check, which I think might do something we don't want. Yeah, so that's actually an executable. And so this was looking for something I don't recall. I don't think I actually got that one going. And this one is doing some sort of SHA and validating that something matches something. And I thought there was like a string. Yeah, there's a string of text in here that's adding to something as a seed and then validating a signature. So, all right. We're going to try the U-boot method first. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Nothing. Okay. All right, we're going to try and set up the firmware for this guy. And we're going to do that by copying the T31 version. And make a T23 version. Which T23 do we have? N. See if we can get rename in here. Oh, we're in a we're in a container. This is actually in the Thingino builder container. All right. All right, so that renamed all of those. Gonna change this one T20. Oops, 23N. We have to create that module file. I feel like most of the contents here are going to be the same. So I don't think they changed much else. Let me eyeball. I'm going to need my phone for this. We're going to check the Wi-Fi chip and make sure it's the same. Oh, it's not. It was totally different Wi-Fi chip. That's why nobody's gotten this to work yet. So we have to change that. Let me figure out what the name of that was. We have a package for it. Thought it started with an O, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it might be, I don't know. I thought we had a package for it. Gonna do a macro shot. All right, focus, please. That is the WS73. So let's check out what we need for that. Let me make this font bigger. One more. All right. So this is what we need to enable it. And this is on a USB sled. Which I guess is going to be the default. Or no, we need this one. So package that and package that USB. It's been a while since I've made a new device here, but we'll get it. RTL 8188FTV is going to become WS73V100. Alright, and I think the rest of it we have to do inside the module, which I'm going to have to change that as well. WS73V100. I feel like I'm repeating myself too often here. T31L SC3336 with Realtek. We're going to copy that to T23N SC3336 WS73V100 underscore def config. Right. Okay, that's different. I think. WS73. Alright, so I got updated here. Alright, and the things we need is that. And that. And we kill that. 23N. Add that. Alright, now this is the first build that I've done in this container. So it's going to take a little extra time. Also, it'll probably fail. I don't have any of the prerequisites built or any of the packages downloaded yet. And if you've never built Thingino on your own before, we make it pretty easy with the builder container. It'll go ahead and put together a complete environment that will 100% match the environment that we build in everywhere. And I think it even can run in Docker on Windows, but I don't recommend it. Now while that's running, just gonna eyeball this guy and see if I can spot the UART. I saw some pins. There's some more pins. This one looks like it's actually labeled. Maybe. That's not a clear labeling, but I think that's going to be our UART. Receive, transmit, and ground. And I did just order some new pogo pins for my UART adapter here, but they didn't go to where I am currently. I won't have those for a couple of weeks. These ones are getting awfully wore out, but I think they're going to work. Yeah, I think that'll work. Just got to get a little bit set up here. You know what I have to do? I have to compile Minicom. I've got my own fork of Minicom that disables blinking text. Where am I? Not there. It's still screwed up. How is that screwed up? Something is screwing that up on me. This is a brand new install. I've done very little, but I did start installing Omarchy. Arrgh. Alright, we're going to look in there. Yep, look at that. Look at this crap. Look at this crap. Dude, that is not cool. That is totally crap. You do not want current directory / bin in your path ever. Gonna open up a new shell and see if that has solved our issue. Alright, that's better. Jeez. That was awful, actually. Like, that's how you get owned. Alright. Where am I? Alright. What did I type wrong? Did I not push my changes? I'm pretty sure I did. But it's possible that I didn't. Don't steal all my private repos, guys. Yeah, there's Minicom. It's public. I must have typoed somewhere. Don't worry, I'll get there eventually. See what we're missing here. Can't imagine I have all the prerequisites, but we'll find out. Looks like it's at least going to try. Let that go. Check our build over here. Still going. Building busy box. Alright, great. Here's my custom flag for Minicom. Alright, so we're more or less ready once we have our firmware image. UART. I might have it switched on the transmit and receive. I do need to get the motors unplugged. Definitely do not need this camera trying to move around while I've got UART hooked up. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to test this out. Minicom. USB 0. Arg, I don't have permission. Always make sure to run Minicom as root. Disable blink, please. N1, no flow control. That looks good. Alright, now I need to get a power cord for this dude, which there might be one in the box. Or I might have thrown it away. There's definitely not one in the box. That's not a power cord. I think I have one that'll work. when you see these guys doing stuff on YouTube videos and you never see their cables, like, that took effort, just so you know. Alright, I think I got transmit and receive switched. Over here doing it on the more difficult end. Nope. Well, that didn't do it. Alright, gotta spend another second on this, I guess. My pogo pins are not as springy as they once were. Alright, receive is on the left. Just go to transmit, which is white. So I think I had it right the first time. We're going to go ahead and switch those back. And hopefully I got a little springiness back in these guys. Alright, let's see what happens. All kinds of noise. That doesn't look like the noise we expect. Got the speed right, got all those settings right. Something's not right. We'll try a little adjustment here. Let's check on our build in the meantime. Still building. When possible, I like to use an alligator clip on the SD card housing to get my ground. Then I only need to worry about 2 pins. Sorry about that. Let's see if this helped. Say that did not help, in fact. This is the first time, obviously, that I'm running Minicom on this thing. I think we do have a bad connection on it. Just going to move over to the other side of the pins. The idea, at least. We are getting caught on this connector. See if moving it out of the way helps. I don't think so. My pins here are not as springy as they're supposed to be these days. We're going to try here. Move our pins down. I think 1 notch is the correct amount. That is totally not working though. It looks like the wrong baud rate, right? I'm sure I've been in this one before. Let's see. 38.4. Doubt that's right. Nope. That seems like a no also. Got nothing at all on that one. Like they're always 119, 200. But we'll try and go faster. I don't think today is the day that they bump the UART to absurd speeds. Yeah, I think I got a bad connection. It's got to be a bad connection here. Now I printed some probe holders. I wonder if I can find them. What sound did you hear? Because I didn't hear it. I got headphones on too. Noise canceling. Let me see if I can find my probe holders. Oh, sorry about that. Sometimes my wife sneezes. Alright, so I got my 3 printed probe holders. Let me get my probes from my multimeter. I need to actually get some normal probes that aren't part of my multimeter at some point. But you know what? These have worked. Try and set this up in a way that it won't be too precarious. Good luck on that. Well, that just tips right over. I don't think you guys can even see what I'm doing here. It's probably for the best. Yeah, I think you're still on the terminal. Oh, we got an error here. We'll have to come back to that. Alright, looks like we're missing a sensor driver for T23. So that's great. We'll switch back over to what I'm trying to work on here so you can make fun of me. Alright. So I got these 2 probe holders. We're going to alligator clip onto our UART adapter. We're going to try and do it in a way where we don't short our connections. Just like that is what we need. And let me look at our polarity here. So green goes to our receive, white goes to our transmit. Ooh, and that is right next to our power. Let me put a lead on that so I don't accidentally blow this whole thing up. That would be pretty lame if I ruin the camera shorting out the UART. Like, this is sketchy enough already without being double sketchy. Alright, where was I? The green goes to receive, so it needs to go to transmit over here. So yeah, I got them in the right order generally. We get one probe here, one probe there. And of course the power cord is tucked away. Somehow I think those stayed where they needed to be. They're not going to stay when I pull this cord out though. Just do that whole thing a second time. Alright, let's jump back over to our terminal and see if we got something. Nope. I wonder if something's goofy with my minicom though, honestly. Like, this is strange looking output. Like, I should validate this on my other laptop. It should not be just noise. And it's just noise. You trying to go past? Okay. 1 second, guys. Alright, just gonna load up the old laptop here. I have to set all those up again, no big deal. Got minicom already running. Get it plugged in, get our device back, reposition our probes. Yeah, it totally works on my other laptop. 100% is working. So, I don't know why it's not working on this one, but we're just gonna reset everything. I pulled the cord out, put the cord back in. Go to the actual USB port. Or plug it in. See if just unplugging it and plugging it back in changed anything, which it shouldn't, but yeah. Alright, I don't know what the deal is, but minicom does not work on this laptop. Let's try and grab their minicom and see if that changes anything. Like, I'm not giving up. on my Minicom, but let's see what happens. It's weird, Minicoms in /bin. Power cycle, yeah, it's still just crap. Alright. So I told it for sure that I need the Minicom in /bin, and look what we get. Well, we got something for a second. Dang it. We got me bumping stuff again. That's what we got. Alright, so for sure my power connection here is not good, but I got us into Minicom shell. So there's no password on there or anything. But when Thingino gets on here, we're going to end up with blinking text, which will make me sad. Alright, so we got a little bit of progress there. Let's jump back over, get on Minicom here, jump back over to our Thingino build, see if we can make that work. Alright, so it's mad that we don't have an SC3336 module driver. This is in the Ingenic SDK. We are in the 3.10 sensor source. What do we have for 3336? Got T31 and T41 and T40. So we're just going to grab the T31 driver. Or copy it in a T23. That's probably not going to work. But it might build. And if we can build and get a image that installs, we can worry about the sensor afterwards. The real trick is the Wi-Fi, because this will be the first device using this Wi-Fi chip. Yeah, so we got right past the sensor thing. And we'll continue building. Hey, Just Leader. How are you doing? Now, while this is building, if anybody has any questions about the Thingino project or any other stuff that I've got on my channel, definitely throw it out there. I'll do my best to answer any of those questions. Gonna check my poll here. I put up a poll this morning about the live show I did yesterday with Arch Linux and all the difficulty I had, and asking if I should keep plugging away with Arch until I get it to work right or start exploring other Linux distributions. And I already this morning reinstalled using Endeavor, and that's what we're on right now. We've got an actual working system for the most part. It's obviously not perfect, and I've got a lot of learning to do there, but that is something that I could do a install video showing Endeavor, which was so much easier, so much simpler than doing regular Arch. Like, Arch should be embarrassed. I don't know what to say. So anyway, I do have working OBS on my Endeavor/Arch system. What I wasn't able to do was cleanly run Omarchy, which is a opinionated hyperland installer from DHH, who's the guy who is the creator of Ruby on Rails and a bunch of other stuff. It has some package conflicts with the software that's installed from the Endeavor installer, and I haven't quite dived into that yet. Like, as soon as I had OBS working, we started the live stream. Now, we should be just about done here. I'm going to grab my SD card and get that ready. I can definitely, I'm pretty sure I can install Thingino through the UART manually from SD, but issuing the commands, which I'd rather not do. And I'm pretty sure my SD card slot on this laptop should work. The old one had a full-size SD, so I had to use an adapter. This one has a micro SD, so does it take the card upside down? I think it takes the card upside down. Didn't expect that. But there it is. All right, what are we building currently? Went by too fast, I didn't see it. We should be just about done. LZOP. Oh, we're still on host stuff. Really? All right, we got a ways to go yet. I thought we were closer than that. All right, we'll go poke around at the factory firmware a little more again. We'll look at that U-boot some more. See if there's anything around these file names that might indicate something. I'm not sure why they have this demo.bin file name in there. Definitely is going to be looking for these file names. But my gut tells me that they're looking for a package file, not just a raw firmware bin. So they've got these partition types and MD5 sums and indexes. But I don't know, we'll find out soon. Let that keep going. while that's building, I'm going to go ahead and try and set this UART up with our clip instead of these probes. That should be a little less delicate. Now that we solved one of the mysteries. See about switching you guys back over here. So it went white to receive. Receive is on the left, so we need white on the right because we're crossing over. We're going to try and use the... Did I just totally switch? Yes. Alright. I'm going to try and use the two leftmost pins on this thing. I've got a new one of these that I sure am eager to get a hold of. But it's going to be a couple of weeks before I get it. Let's plug this UART adapter back in. Jump back over to our Minicom window. Oh. Alright, yeah, look at that. I didn't even disconnect the power, and we've got a working UART here. So that's nice. See if it tells us anything at boot up that we can look at here. It did not. Didn't mention anything about our special file names. Let's pop the SD card in there and see if it gives us any output about scanning it. Nope. No output about scanning it. Now it does mention that it's checking for the reset button. Let's see if it does anything different if I have the reset button pressed. So we're actually gonna move our ground clip over. Do I have you guys on the wrong camera view again? Yes. That's not where the interesting stuff is. All right. Holding down the reset button with one hand, issuing reset. Okay. All right, you see there was some stuff there. Let's look at that. All right, so look for these files. So if you hold the button down, it'll look for those files. I have no idea what this root password's going to be. Although, let me check. We do have some root passwords that we've determined. Maybe this will match another vendor. Let's come over to our extracted file system here. And I'm just going to check on our library of hacked passwords right quick. Yeah, the raw image thing, on a lot of these devices, they don't just accept like the exactly 16 megabyte image as the file. They have like a header on it that'll have potentially some sort of signature and usually something like a MD5 or SHA sum of the flashed image, or it'll even have like offsets for each partition that goes into the flash. It flashes them all individually. All right, let me get into our research thing here. One of these is, here we go, Paul's Wiki. Look under hacking, here we go, research, security, password, hashes. All right, what do we got? $1 IPG. Nope, we did not have that one. So that's unfortunate. We don't really need it, but it would have been a nice thing to have. We do have our hijacker script, which actually it won't work on this because the password's in a different place than it expects. And if I'm being honest, manually repackaging a SquashFS file system sounds like more work than I'm going to get into on this stream. So we've got our firmware image built here. I'm going to pop our SD card back in, and we're going to see what we can get. And so I'm going to move my camera a little bit. It's right in the way of this SD card slot. All right, are we back? What are we looking at here? Okay. Just making sure you can see what we're doing here. Builder, workspace, output, deco, images. All right. We're gonna real quick format our SD card. We don't need F-disk because it's already, this is my 128 meg card that I use for the 128 meg installer images. FAT16. Take our full image. And we got to name it what it's looking for. So let's get that file name out of here. We're going to assume it's the _F for a full image. Gonna unmount, mount, sync again, which should not be necessary. And we're going to come over here to our Minicom window. Let's go ahead and try to be careful with the power cord because it's sketch. Get our SD card inserted. All right, SD card is mounted. Now we will reboot the device and hold down the reset button. So first we unplug. Like, probably the interesting stuff is going to be in the Minicom window, so I'm going to leave you on that while I do this. But I am precariously holding a button and the power cord at the same time. At least that's the plan. Whoops. That's just line noise. And dang, this is hard to do with one hand, just so you know. Here we go. Alright, what happened? Something happened, but it obviously isn't flashing our firmware right now. Oh, I think I let go of the button at the wrong time. I think it was actually starting to do something, but I interrupted it before it got too far. Alright, we're going to try this again. Gonna unscrew up our UART here. Buttons pressed. Here we go. Plug. Well, that didn't work. I don't know if it's because of the power cord or something else. All right. So, yeah, here we learned something. So it did see the file on the card, and it tried to get some metadata that's not there, and it bombed. And then it erased the config partition, so it did a factory reset on the card. So we're gonna, yeah, this thing is really, this power cord is not very good. It doesn't fit. All right, I need to find my offsets for this, but we're just gonna manually flash this since we're already in. I just gotta look up my offsets right quick. Just interested in seeing if this firmware will even boot, and when it doesn't boot, or when it does boot, we'll see what doesn't work. Now, all these cameras are a little bit different in the way that they update, but this is not the first one I've seen that uses a package format. Give me just a moment while I look this up. It's going to be in the wiki under UART cheat sheet, I think. U-boot cheat sheet. Alright, burn 16 meg firmware from SD card. Alright, so we know our file name. Turn off our watchdog. Set our base address to 0x82. 000. Flash size. that FF. And I got another typo over here. You guys need to tell me what I'm typoing. Oh. Oh. Yep. Another typo. Alright, so we've blanked it out. Alright, we're reading that into memory. Alright, and then we are burning. Alright, now we should have our Thingino firmware installed. Do a reset. Well, that doesn't look good. Resetting the power cord also doesn't look good, so yeah, I blew it up. Alright, have no fear. We can always recover. And I can even do it from SD. So the question about can we just change the password hash? We can. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to repack the firmware. Like, it's totally doable, but it's a pain in the butt. And I've got the whole image, so like I don't really need anything from a running system, if you know what I mean. Alright, are you still on terminal here? Yes, good. Go to our Thingino installers. And we just need one of these that has a T23. Happen to know that this one does. It doesn't matter which one of these I take because we're not actually using it. Just write our SD card image real quick. I wonder how I blew that up so effectively. Like, it didn't even bring up U-boot. But I've done worse. All right. Now we're just going to copy the factory firmware back into place. We'll use our Thingino bootloader magic file name. Come back over to Minicom here. Pop in our SD card. Make sure our UART is still more or less lined up. All right, and a power cycle should bring us into SD recovery mode. So I'm definitely not seeing. This might not have SD recovery mode, but that doesn't make sense. I feel like it should. See, now I'm questioning. Oh, I bet what it is, the bootloader's not blank. There's something in there enough to prevent it from going. So we're going to flash glitch it. Got the wrong screwdriver in my hand, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it with the right screwdriver. Did I goof up my UART connection or something? I do feel like we should be getting something. Alright, well that's really interesting. I'm going to use my Flash programmer. And we're just going to do it manually. Alright. What's the flash ROM command for verbose mode? Capital V. I don't think I'm quite right on the clip. Try again. See if I can get that minus V in there again. Did it already send the erase command? No, it was doing a read. Alright, we're gonna reset the programmer. There we go. Alright, for some reason, Flash ROM will read the whole contents of the chip before writing the chip, which is a pain in the butt. But there's really not much to look at while it's doing it. Maybe while it's doing it, try and see if we have Jira. Oh, I don't care which Java. We've got this U-boot binary. Maybe we can look at it in a decompiler while this thing's doing its thing. Alright, I agree. That seems like a pretty old build. It says from 2024. We've been not in 2024 for a while. We want to add a file. I think we're in here. Yeah, we're just going to grab this U-boot. Yeah, that seems right. Pick a language. Well, it's MIPS 32. R2. Well, it doesn't like it like that. So we got to figure out which MIPS is going to be the right one. There's R6. It is a little endian, but it's MIPS 32. Alright, we will take... No, it's definitely a little endian though. We'll try MIPS default 32. Like, it shouldn't be something where that ends up mattering. Please open in the default tool. Yes, please analyze. Select all. Analyze. Give that a second. We'll move this back over to our flash ROM. So it is writing. We're getting somewhere. Alright, so initially I'm looking for a label that would have our file name probably should search Where's find on here? That didn't look like a find. No. Oh, it's on the menu. What they call that file name? Let's look it up in our terminal. Because we used it not long ago. Probably in here. Yeah, firmware. We'll just search for firmware. All fields, please. Check our firmware flash again. All right, it's verifying. All right, here we have our references. Show our references that come to here. There should be one or two. It says there's none. Yeah, this says there's none. But we know there's one. All right, back to functions. None of these functions have names. Usually half the fun is going through and finding names to assign to all these, but being U-boot is going to be particularly difficult. Because none of these are going to be easy. Our flash is verified. We're going to jump over to Minicom here again. See if we get a working device. Give it a plug. Oh. I took my UART off while flashing. Give it power. Once again, we are getting nothing. Oh, I don't have the ground hooked up. We need the ground. Let's try it again. All right, so we have a working factory firmware camera again. Go ahead and stop that. All right, I think I'm going to plug a little bit at the U-boot here and just see if I can figure anything out about what it's actually looking for in that package format. But I think that's going to be a bit slow for you guys. So I'll probably go ahead and button up this live stream. I think we also have dinner coming up here in a couple, so get that taken care of. And I might do another live stream later on this evening after dinner. I just got some new stuff over at Refusion, which is now producer.ai. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's like the best AI music creation software platform out there, and something I've been playing with for uh, a little more than this year. Like I started in December with those guys, and that should be pretty fun going through and trying out some of their new features. So if you're interested in that, definitely keep an eye out on the channel, and you'll get a notification when that live starts. As long as you are subscribed and you've got that bell pressed. And no, I never pressed that bell either, so don't feel bad. But we're going to go ahead and button this one up. So if you're not already on our Discord channel, the link to it is in all of my videos. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Throw any comments down there. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed hanging out. I know these are always like just a string of side quests, one after the other, but that's how it goes. Anyway, we'll get back to this camera probably tomorrow. Till then, we'll see you on the Discord, and stay fresh. Cheese bags. Now I gotta find the stop button. Here we go. See ya.